Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. Okay, so we're approaching, we got about a week left before the NFL trade deadline. And Stephen Jones says, don't look for us to be making any major trades. And we made that big one last year. So happy Amari Cooper Day. Amari Cooper, you got to look at this and say that was unbelievable because when you think about it, you remember what all the talking heads said last year? The Dallas Cowboys, they need a GM. They just got fleeced by the Raiders. Amari Cooper, he's checked out, man. He just doesn't have it. That guy, wow. And the Cowboys gave up a first round pick. And you know, the Cowboys, they're thinking right now that might be a top 10 pick. The Raiders are laughing at the Cowboys. But a year later, Amari Cooper has done some incredible things. Just think about this. Now, last week, he only played for 3 plays. Even with that, he has had 1,346 yards, 11 TDs. On 125 targets, he's had 91 receptions with a catch rate of 76%. How good is that? Well, I tell you what, this is the amazing thing because what you have to understand is a lot of times you have to be in the right situation. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there that could have been great had they had the right coaching staff and the team around them. Would Joe Montana be the same guy? Excuse me. Would Joe Montana be the same guy if he had not been with the 49ers? I mean, take a look at Steve Young, who was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who thought he was a bust. He goes to San Francisco, gets a Super Bowl ring, and becomes a Hall of Famer. So you have to be in the right situation. And Amari Cooper clearly working with Derek Carr was not the right guy. You could look at Dak and Tony Romo. I'm sorry, Tony Romo and Dez Bryant. Those two clicked. They had it together. They had that chemistry, that connection. Dak and Dez just didn't have it. It just wasn't the same. But instantly, Amari Cooper and Dak, they clicked. To think that those two have done what they have done without having a training camp when he literally came from Oakland is unbelievable. And when we look at the statistics, here's what's incredible. Let's pull up the stats here. I know it's not. I still have to work on adjusting the lights and stuff in here better. But when you think about Amari Cooper, when he left Oakland after 6 games, he had 31 targets, 21 receptions, 280 yards, and a 12.7 average. Right? Immediately goes to Dallas. Immediately goes to Dallas and gets targeted 76, catching 53 for a 13.7 yard average. He increased his average by a yard. That's amazing to think you left this week over here with this quarterback who at one time was a MVP candidate to go with Dak, who we all hear is inaccurate. But when you put these numbers together in context, sorry, I'm having a little bit of a lisp. I'm getting a cold in here. I'm taking some cold meds, and maybe that's kind of messing me up. When you think about Dez Bryant, best years, boy, we're having hard times here. 2014 was Dez Bryant's best year. Okay? 16 games, 136 targets, 88 receptions, 1,320 yards, 15 yards average, 16 TDs. That's if you get that, you're great. Without a doubt, that's great. We compare the 16 games that we have right now. Amari Cooper has 26 more yards. He has on less targets. He's got 3 more receptions. Yard per average, right now, he's averaging 16 yards. Dez Bryant's best year was 2014. He is doing everything with the exception of the touchdowns. Dez had 16. Amari's got 11. That's unbelievable. You have your current triplets. You have the wide receiver that's money in the bank. This guy is golden, and him and Dak just click. And now all of a sudden you see Zeke Elliott have one of the I'm going to say one of the best games I've seen Zeke Elliott have. Zeke Elliott has literally been a Eagles killer. In 5 games against them, he's got over 550 yards. The Eagles don't want nothing with Zeke Elliott. Zeke is killing them. The last time that the Eagles beat the Cowboys was their Super Bowl year when Zeke was suspended. That goes to show you what it is with these guys. And as you put it, this is another amazing statistic. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I get this right because I get told all the time that I make stuff up or I manipulate statistics. But as we go through and we continue to try and say that Dak sucks, Dak's inaccurate, his accuracy, we need to put that stuff to bed. Because when we put these 3 guys together, and I say, you can't win without Zeke, you can't win without Dak, can't win without Amari Cooper, but you put all 3 of them together, you can win. Here's the amazing thing right now. We used to call Dak dink and dunk, okay? Dak trash cut, Dak's accuracy problems, and we hear those talking heads talk about that. Here's an amazing statistic for all you guys out there that hate him. Right now, currently, Dak and the Dallas Cowboys are averaging 8.9 yards per pass attempt. Every time they pass the ball, they are averaging passing the ball 8.9 yards and having a completion percentage of 70.6 of those passes. Does that sound like a lot to you guys? They're averaging almost 9 yards per every pass. And their completion percentage is 70.6. Only 2 players in the history of the NFL have averaged more yards per attempt when completing at least 70% of their passes. Sammy Baugh and Joe Montana. I'm not giving all the credit to Dak because you got to have an Amari Cooper who can run those routes precise and be there where the ball is going to be delivered. You have to have that chemistry. You also have to have that threat of a running game that's going to keep people honest. When you have a team that's solely reliant on passing the football, generally speaking, they're not going to the Super Bowl. And vice versa. You can look at the years that Adrian Peterson had 2,000 yards. They weren't going anywhere as far as Super Bowl goes. It's a balance of all of the above. As Shannon Sharp tried to say yesterday, well, Dak Prescott, he didn't throw for as many yards as the other guys. You don't need to when you have a balanced offense. You want to have a balanced offense. You don't want your quarterback to have to throw for 400 yards every week. More times than not, they're not winning. But I'm going to leave you. Aaron sent me this little clip right here. Yeah, definitely trolling those Eagles. I'm trying to find something, but it was a tweet about Chris Long talking about the Eagles' problems, and he pointed at Carson Wentz. I'm trying to find this broadcast because I definitely want to hear that. But thank God we right now are headed into the bye week. Not expected to make any major trades. Like other teams you see. New England has got Mohamed Sanu. The Eagles, well, they want everybody but aren't getting anybody. And the Cowboys, I think, are going to stand pat with what they have right now and feel that they have a lot of faith in the players that they have in the team. And if this team shows up, if they play the way they're capable of doing, they can beat anybody. But they can also lose to anybody. This is the right time, I believe, to have this break. We get this big win, division rival, 3-game lead in the division, chance to go ahead and heal up and get ready for the stretch run, hopefully towards the playoffs. One other note, um, odds for making the playoffs, I think the Cowboys are at about 66%. So that's pretty good. Um, and possibly they can do something that nobody's done in the NFC East in about 15 years. And I'll talk about that during our fireside chat. I'm Mark Holmes, and hope you're enjoying Amari Cooper Day. I'll see you soon.